What's going on, everybody? Hopefully, if you watched the first part of this video, I'm doing part 1 and part 2 just to try to cut down the time. But if you watched part 1, I hope somebody was able to leave me a comment about the chickens. You know, why? That's what I want to know, is why. But anyway, this is part 2. I'm going to try to leave a link to the first video in case you didn't see it. But this is part 2 of the story of the people that paid me a visit the other day wanting to buy the chickens. But anyway, the lady was examining the chickens, and the guy calls me. He never got out of the car, but the guy calls me to the front of the car. You know, he calls me up to his window, and he's like, "Sir, today is your lucky day." I'm like, "Oh yeah, how is that?" He said, "Hold on." He took this big, thick gold necklace off of his neck and 2 rings. He had a ring on each hand on his finger. Took these 2 big rings off, held them out to me. He's just like, "Here." I held my hand out, and I'm sitting there thinking, surely this guy's not going to offer me this for those chickens. I mean, that was my initial thought. He's like, "Sir, today is your lucky day." He said, "That is $6,000 worth of jewelry." He said, "If you just give me $200, you can have that." And I was like, "Sir, I ain't got $200. He's like, no, just reach in your pocket, get the money." I said, "Sir, I don't have $200 on me." And you know, and I'll be honest, they bought those 2 chickens for $60. So I told him, I reached in my pocket, I said, "I got $60. And he's like, "Pfft." He said, he took a bracelet off of his wrist, and it matched. It's a big, thick chain, not no little herringbone or something. This is, I don't know what they call it, but this is big, you know, big, beefy looking chain. He adds that to it. He says, "Sir, that is $8,000. You just give me $200 and you can have that." He said, "We are on vacation from Miami, Florida." He said, "And I need cash." At one point, because this goes on and on. I mean, yeah, they keep trying over and over. But at one point, he told me he had lost his debit card or misplaced it or something. But I'm like, "Sir, I'm sorry." I said, I don't have $200 on me. I can't help you. Just run to your house and get it." He said, "Run into your house and get the money." I said, "Man, I done told you." I said, "I ain't got $200 here." I said, "You know, people don't really deal in cash that much anymore. I mean, I don't go to the grocery store and buy $300 worth of groceries and pull out 20s, 10s, and 5s. I mean, I handle my debit card. I mean, I'm sure some of these little gas stations, but, you know, if I go to get gas, I pull up there, I put in my card, and fill up and go. I don't use cash." So anyway, he just did not want to take no for an answer. But he goes into this long spiel how wealthy he is. That he's from Miami, Florida. That he owns hotels in Miami, Florida, Canada, and Dubai. He tells me he's a multi-millionaire. Money means nothing. That's what he said. "Money means nothing to me. It does nothing to me to give this to you. I just need cash." And I'm like, "Oh yeah?" Well, the more he tried, the more of a red flag it was waving, you know. Because I didn't see it as somebody desperate, like, "Man, I really need cash so we can eat." It was, I don't know, he just kept pushing it. I think I'm gonna head this way. The sun is in my eyes. and it is bright. But he just kept pushing and pushing. So I wouldn't bite on that. So he takes off his Rolex watch. And he's like, here. And then he hands it to me. And he says, this Rolex is worth $50,000. He said, it's real. He said, look on the back, there's a number, a code or something. He said, pull out your phone and Google it. It will tell you that is a real Rolex, $50,000. Now, I told him, I said, well, can I take a picture of this in my hand? He's like, yeah, sure. So I snapped a picture of it, and that's, I'll probably pop it up right here, but I think I'm gonna use it as the thumbnail. So either way, you will see this handful of gold I got. And I don't know how much you can zoom in on it or whatever, but the watch was very nice. Had diamonds all the way around it. I mean, very nice watch. But now he wants $2,000 for in trade for $58,000. And of course I told him, I said, well, dude, I ain't got 200. What makes you think I got 2,000? I guess he thought maybe if he throwed in, you know, $50,000 watch, all of a sudden I would magically have all kinds of cash. But he never got rude, I guess. But you could tell he was frustrated or whatever. It was kind of like big help you are or whatever. But you know, I'm sorry, but I didn't want to get scammed. I don't know if that guy was scamming me. I'm almost certain he was. I don't care how much money you got. You know, it would take a fool to just start going around offering people, you know, $58,000 for $2,000. I mean, you know, you'd run out of money before long acting like that. So I find it hard to believe. But man, there should be a horn laying down in here somewhere. I don't know if y'all can tell it, but I was walking through 2 food plots back through there, and that's where I usually find my sheds. I find a few in the woods, but I pretty much find my sheds in those fields. They spend so much time there. But anyway, I thought I would share the story of this guy. Oh, I know what else I was going to tell you. I posted a picture of that handful of gold on Facebook, and I had a friend of mine call me, and he was saying he basically run into the same identical thing at QT's up here on the main interstate. But he said it was a guy that was on vacation, and now he wasn't wanting chickens like in the first story, but he needed cash. This was his story. So my buddy gave him some money for a ring. He went and had it checked out, and it was fake. So, you know, and I'll say this too. I looked at the rings and the necklaces and all, and they had 18K stamped on them. And he of course, he made sure to point that out. But you know, I'm not a jewelry expert, and maybe this is common, I don't know. But I did notice that one of the K's had like a shadow beside it, like where it had barely been double stamped. Like maybe the stamp moved just a little bit. And like I said, that could be, you know, perfectly legit jewelry out there with that. I don't know, but I did notice that. But my friend told me that his also had 18K stamped in it, but it was fake. So I'm almost certain that this was a scam. I know one thing, I got to do something to hide my chickens. That seems to be drawing people in. to give them an excuse to stop. I mean, if I want to sell my chickens, I'm going to put a sign up. I'm going to put an ad on Marketplace. I'm going to get on Facebook. I will get on YouTube. I will do something to put the word out there and say, hey guys, I got some chickens for sale if anybody's interested. Really don't. And again, I don't mind if somebody stops to ask me, but just leave it alone when I say no. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Get in your car and go on. But unfortunately, my goodness, it is starting to get warm. But anyway, I hadn't found any sheds this morning out here walking around. They're here. There ain't no doubt they're here. It's just sometimes, man, them sheds are so hard to find. So hard to find. I see. No, that ain't right. But anyway, I think I'm going to go over here and sit down and get me a drink of water and cool off just a minute. But like I said, I thought I'd just share those two stories with y'all. And so, man, y'all be careful out there. If somebody stops to offer you something, you know, there's a saying out there that says, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. So, you know, don't let that gold blind you. Or blind your judgment. Just be polite. Tell them no thank you and move on. Anyway, y'all have a blessed day.